Bonjour, and welcome back to the French campaign in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Now let's continue eating another piece of the great elephant that is the combined Anglo-American Soviet enemy. The battlecruiser Ranger is a shared assigned ship by History Buff Ironworks. 1913, it's got 8 14-inch guns, so we do outgun it with the asterisks. It does, however, have a considerable escort. We do have 2 battlecruisers, though, versus their 1. And hopefully the Marseillaise will deal with the destroyers. That shouldn't be a big problem. Missoula, that's the one that took so long to sink in that convoy battle. It will probably be held back by the Covington, which is quite a bit slower. Nashville. I don't know what these are all about. I haven't seen them before. Oh, it's got like a Q turret. That's interesting. Let's see. We don't have that many ships to organize this time. It's not quite night battle, but it's gonna be soon, as the sun is setting. Let's see. These also have the high capacity HE, which would be very effective against the destroyers. Maybe not against the cruisers, as we found out some of these human-made light cruisers have more than 1 inch of extended belt armor. We're actually being outspotted by a Ranger. So it's got like better tower spotting or better night vision, or both. There she is. Mark II 14s. Okay, so we do outrange it by quite a bit. And 9 inches of effective belt armor. Inner layers aren't thick enough to do much. Alright, we can take this. We're only spotting it, though, at 17 kilometers, so even though we outrange it, we can't really make good use of that range advantage because it's, well, it's evening, and it's going to be night soon. So when night falls, we'll have to get even closer, well into its range. Unless we use the light cruisers as spotters. Which we could do. Also, the sea state is reducing our top speed. Well, these haven't seen combat before, so it's gonna be their first time on the thumbnail. Hopefully we're gonna score some good hits soon. There we go. And you have launched. At Bouton. So we're gonna have to take care of these destroyers first before dealing with the battlecruiser, I guess. Torpedoes here. Dale sinks. As long as I don't get like distracted by something, I should be able to dodge torpedoes with these light cruisers. They got the maneuverability and they've got the torpedo spotting. And both of you have launched. These have not launched yet. These in the back. Now, the biggest danger to my light cruisers here would be that battlecruiser. Or actually these cruisers here. You just launched. Let's just gun down some of these. Let's also take a look at these light cruisers, because we haven't seen them yet. Or before. Single Mark III 7-inch guns. And let's see, that first layer, that should equal actually a little bit more than 6 inches, but the second inner belt doesn't do anything. 9.8 kilometer torpedoes. That's a lot of 3-inch guns. Could we take on those light cruisers in a 1v1? Think so. Yeah, I've got 8 inches of effective main belt armor, so they can't really go through that. Frank's is gonna sink. Sellers is taking some flooding, so should just be able to outrun it. Light cruiser torp incoming. We're good. I think. Yeah, it should be good here. My battlecruisers are kind of getting away. Can't be worrying too much about them right now. Hopefully that enemy battlecruiser won't slam my light cruisers with its 14-inch guns. Its accuracy doesn't seem to be the best. Then again, it is night, or almost night. And I'm pretty fast. Right. Battlecruisers. You get back here. We've dealt with the DDs. Kind of. See, 9 kilometers away. Not quite in torpedo range. Maybe soon. There we go. Guns on the other one. Because now I do not want to hit this and slow it down, because then my torps are going to miss. Are we going to get torps hits here on Nashville? 1 dud. That wasn't great. Okay then. 4-inch fore and aft. Yeah, definitely not HE penning that. The AP should work. See, there we go. How many underwater tubes per side do these things have? Like, how worried do I have to be? Quite. It's 6 tubes per side. Oh, they didn't launch though. Nashville has launched. At Gishen. But I don't know where in the turn I was when those were launched. So they could end up who knows where. Speaking of ending up somewhere, that destroyer kind of snuck up on me. Sellers. He wasn't French, he was just pretending. Can we launch some torps here? Should be possible, right? Maybe? Sellers has launched at my light cruisers. I would have thought my battlecruisers would be in trouble here. I don't think she launched all the torpedoes. Because they don't all have the same angle, so the torp launchers kind of end up staggered. Which I wouldn't like if that was my destroyer, but it kind of works for the AI as it becomes more difficult to dodge. And they're gonna hit their own light cruiser. No, they're not. I got lucky. That's how they got my my armored cruiser in that convoy battle. I was dodging the first spread, and I was in a turn. The second spread was launched. from their, I think it was like third launcher. There we go. Destroyer sunk. This guy is tenacious. Are we doing some damage to this thing? Yes, we are. Absolutely. Getting main belt pens for tens of thousands of damage. Well, this thing is almost done now. Asterix and Dogmatics have remained fairly undamaged. And Ranger will sink. There she goes. Right. With that out of the way. And one torpedo hit on this one. With Spar. Asterix and Dogmatics can come about. Guiton and Guishan have done enough. Now it's nighttime. The visibility has dropped further. It means we should probably be a little bit careful here. Because you might have to enter within torpedo range of that light cruiser to even see where it is. Maybe these things have not done enough yet. Maybe they have to do things. We have to spot some light cruisers. You can see where they are. They got the smoke screens up. Instantly penetrating Collington. Yeah, we are well within torpedo range here. Just how it's got to be, I guess. You've launched. You've launched. There we go. Getting some solid hits here. Oh yeah, they had another destroyer. And good night, Nashville. And this one too. it actually gonna sink? Yes. Asterisk, you can target Missoula. Main belt pen. Nice. That is Covington going down. Let's get some hits on Missoula as well. Which we've already knocked out its main guns. We've done a lot of damage. Oh, they had a destroyer somewhere. There we go. Massive hits on Missoula. Which is trying to retreat, but it's too late now. Can only manage 12 knots. I can see the smoke screen. So that's where the destroyer has to be. Send you up on this side so that no matter where the enemy cruiser turns, one of my battlecruisers will have a clean shot on the flank. Or the bow, which is where I need some more flooding. There we go. Halsey Powell sinks. Did it launch first? I don't think so. They have another destroyer somewhere? It can live. Nice. One battlecruiser down. One destroyer survived. 29 million for these. That's not bad for what they are. Like, they're pretty decent. Alright. Imperator Alexander class battleship. 36,000 tons. 21 knots. Only 70% armor. But it's got 8 14-inch guns. Isaac Victoria. 3 double 11s each. 70% armor. These are both my designs. They seem very similar, but they're two different classes. One has 100% armor quality and is a knot faster. I think they're probably built on the same hull, actually. This one is obviously a little bit newer. And probably has Mark III 11-inch guns, while the other one has Mark IIs. Maybe. Maybe that's what I was thinking. building two of basically the same class. $29 knot DDs with 4 torpedoes each. So DDs can't have citadels, right? Which gives them another 10% armor quality. So plus 90, that means Krupp 1. So plus 100 would mean Krupp 2. Which means it's pretty modern. Admiral Istomin. This is probably an AI design. But the rest are... I don't know. These could also be AI designs, but the AI doesn't do a terrible job of making DDs. So that might work. Now on our side, we have some ships you will recognize. The Valorous, the René Magritte, they're still with us. 2 Marseillais, C-03 and TB-90s, of course. We have the new flagship, the Obelix, with a very recent refit. I realized we were going to war, so I gave these a quick refit just before. So they got the Mark III 15s. They got Krupp 2. And all the good stuff. And we got the new heavy cruisers. Or armored cruisers. I guess we can call them heavy cruisers at this point. They should be superior to the enemy cruisers. Should. But yeah. Let's find out. Alright. Yeah, I remember building this. I don't remember if it's got Mark II or 3 guns. Probably Mark II's given its armor quality. It's evening again. It was a nice sunset. Has to be said. We definitely have the advantage in like pure battleship firepower. With 5 battleships versus 1. That is the new Victor Hugo. Not the lead ship of the class this time, but the name was retained. Cassard and Jean Bar are my scouts at this point. Torpedo boats, you can hang around here. Destroyers, you can hang around here. Until further notice. There are a lot of cruisers to clear out before they got a clean shot at that battleship. Obelix is not leading the formation. Which she kind of should, but... There you go, there's the enemy battleship. Take a look. A lot of secondary guns. Mark II 14s, not 15s. And only Citadel 2, so no second inner layer. Still, that's what, equal to 18 inches, but at only plus 70%. So... Yeah. What was your main gun range? 17 kilometers. Lille has opened up. I'm gonna reduce speed slightly. Aft-deck pen. Here come their destroyer force. There's a cruiser as well. Ivan Gorod. Mark IIs. So not as modern as I thought it would be. Also just Citadel 2 with the one single belt layer. Europa with the same class. And this is the other one that is of a slightly older type, but it's the same basic design. I think I just made the same design twice for different years. Let's not have my light cruisers taken out by battleship fire now. That would be suboptimal. Belarus and Lille, we can keep firing at that battleship. I should be able to pen it at 18 kilometers. I could just look at my own guns and not the enemy guns. Yeah. Enemy light cruisers. Novik. 6.6 kilometer torps. 18-inch. Only 21 knots, so they're kind of slow. Okay, TB90s. Let's have you prepare for launch. I want to have them out this way. There are the enemy destroyers. 7 kilometer torps. See, and all my battleships have, of course, changed main gun targets without my consent. There we go. We're scoring good hits on that battleship now. Admiral Speedy Dove. Destroyers are now launching at my light cruisers, which is fine. I sent out my torpedoes this way before I knew where all the destroyers were, so they have to be taken out before we can try and launch at the battleship. Speaking of launching, lucky Victor Hugo, there's a cruiser-shaped gap in the torpedoes just there, and this one changed course just before hitting Bellier. Got some torpedoes incoming here. Valruse is going to take one. Or maybe not. It's going to pass. No. Took one on the bow. Let's see, destroyers. Put your new torpedoes to use here. Let's see what you can do. I think actually the torpedoes would be better in this case because they carry more torpedoes. Be a bigger spread. And we sank the enemy battleship. What sank you? 15-inch. Let's see, main belt partial pens. Oh, we did get some main belt pens. 2. Yeah, those 15-inch guns are pretty mean. What's that? I'd like to think that was Obelix doing a lot of that work. I think maybe it was. I do not want to lose another full unit of armored cruisers in this battle. Like we did at Sumatra. Even though, like, some of them have the same names. 312 is taking some damage. But the other 3 are completely unharmed. Assad and Jean Bart have done a good job just distracting those destroyers. Now, they had 1 or 2 destroyers that were like slightly better than the others. I'd like to have those identified too. Maybe that might be a nice thumbnail. Did launch against one of my light cruisers, but okay, this way, actually. And here. There you go, that's that staggered torpedo launch. Bring back the torpedo boats this way. Assad and Jambat can now hunt for Admiral Spiridov, which I think I maxed out second inner belt times 4. That's 8.8 effective. No, I can't actually go through that. The battleship line dodges yet another spread of torps that probably wasn't even aimed at them. Alright, let's deal with the cruisers. Let's also deal with this destroyer. And there's also something here. Right, Obelix, Valrus, Bern, René Marit, and Lille. Graf Orlov, that's a that's an older one. So a mixed bag of cruisers in this battle. Remember to turn. That's the more modern one. It just went invisible, but it has 10.3 kilometer torps. let's see. You have taken a slight bit of damage. Not much, but it's enough to slow you down. Yeah, 23-inch torps. That's fairly powerful. I think they only had one of these. The Birni or something. Right, we gotta select some targets again. Because everyone has reverted to firing at the same targets. The 15-inch guns get to target the armored cruisers. Well, the 13.5s deal with the lights. That is one more destroyer that's about to sink. And that should be all their DDs. You can go look for that light cruiser. Destroyers coming back. Round 2. My destroyers, that is. Okay. Just everything at that armored cruiser. We're just gonna hope to hit something. Oh, because it's sailing away. Let's not sail into my own torpedoes here. My cruisers are launching. Over here, of course. Things are also happening. We found the light cruiser. And we sank it. I thought I wouldn't be able to, but apparently that wasn't much of a problem. I mean, I thought I wouldn't be able to using the guns. All of these torps will not hit much. Let me get something over here. Cruiser force, you can just speed up, be a little bit more aggro. I'm gonna send the DDs after Admiral Makarov. It's soon gonna be time to build more destroyers, but whether or not they're gonna be ready for this ongoing war, I'm not sure, but last I checked, there was a pretty clear leader of that poll. The Design Bureau thing. Why are we firing HE, my guys? We got 10 inches of effective armor. Actually, that is... let's go for extended belt pens then. Admiral Nevelskoy. We do have, on paper, torpedo range. But it's also sailing away from us. Palestra has launched. Let's put you on aggro launch. Yeah, cruiser's doing pretty well. These new ones. It'd be interesting to see like how they do in a 1v1. But currently all the ones I'm building are for like task force use. I'm not sure if we'll find out. All of these are damaged and slowed down by flooding and engine damage and such. You know, I thought my light cruisers were kind of overpriced, given that they cost almost as much as my armored cruisers, but they're actually being a lot more useful in many ways. Just because they're so fast. And they got that tower spotting, and they can like very comfortably bait torpedoes from destroyers without getting hit. Makarov goes down. Isaac Victoria. With that's only plus 70% quality, but that's some thick armor for a cruiser. Looking at like 10, 12 inches effective. 12.5. Which is roughly what I have, but at lower quality. Turn back. Go for some different targets. I think maybe for fighting enemy armored cruisers, the version with the 11-inch guns would be more useful. But like 12 10-inch guns each, that is very decent for dealing with light cruisers. Boris goes down. And we deal with Isaac Victoria now. I think turning off the secondary guns would help with accuracy here. Oof! We took a main belt pen. You are allowed to do that because you got that kind of penetration. At 5 kilometers. It may only be Mark II 11-inch guns, but they're 50 calibers in length. And they are 11-inch guns. Cordite 1 and Dunite, that is a dangerous combination. But sure enough, it does grant you some extra penetration. Palestra has lost both engines. Torpedo boats are far away. We are running out of AP for some of these guns. Valhus has spent all of our AP. You know, this task force is gonna need resupply before I send them out to fight the British. Resupply and some repair. It'll be a 2 or 3 month repair for Palestro. Probably 2. I didn't think this would like lead to any serious damage to any of my ships other than maybe torpedo boats and destroyers. There we go. You keep scoring main belt pens on me. Natalia goes down. I'm sending you back to help deal with that cruiser. Europa should sink soon. Obelix. Yeah, we scored a torpedo hit on Isaac Victoria, but Cerberus is not doing too hot. It just doesn't have the punch to deal with that armor on Isaac Victoria. And Europa should be dealt with. And that's the same class as Isaac Victoria. I want to bring in Obelix closer. There we go. Europa. Europa has fallen. I cannot let Isak Victoria get away with this. Not after what she did to two of my cruisers. Got 66 rounds of AP left for the 15-inch guns. We're slowing down to cruising speed first. AP loaded. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. Right, no losses, but some damage. More damage than I thought we would take. Yeah, Russian cruisers with 11-inch guns are not really to be underestimated. So yet another battle that ended up being a little bit longer than I thought it would be. Britain, you're sending some battleships through here. You're not getting through there. I'm sorry. But that's just how it is. That's another 13,000 ton armored cruiser. We are sending this task force back to Marseille. One armored cruiser is missing. Where did it end up? Not La Spezia, that's my Rochambeaus. They are going here to Cyprus. Which we intend to take. I'm just gonna have to check the fleet tab here. Colmar, that's fine. That's the one from the convoy battle last episode. Durazzo. That's a 3-month repair. Well, do I have anything like suspended? No, everything is being built. That's good. That's it for this time. Next time we're gonna find out where to send our ships. We got 2 more task forces here. Let's see, where is it? Shanghai. There. We can go deal with the Russians. Or do what I said I would. No, actually that's this this task force is tasked with that. Invasion of Eastern India. The goal being to drag British task forces away from Europe, all around the Horn of Africa, and here to defend against that naval invasion. I don't really care if the the invasion succeeds or not. It would be nice, though. India is a pretty valuable province. But mainly, I want to drag them away from here. Not that we can't fight them here, though. We have another task force ready to go. So there's a lot of fighting to be done yet in 1917. Goodbye and take care.